Very soon after, yeah.
Very soon after, Darnell Nurse is coming around the net, and he gets absolutely popped by Ryan Reaves. And there's a lot of different ways I want to go with this conversation. First, from Darnell Nurse's perspective. For the first time in, let's call it a calendar year, this guy was playing like the defenseman we know he can be, coming off a great game on home ice the other day, 3-point performance, has had 2 weeks straight of being really, really good defensively and in his own zone. To see him go down like this and couple it with the fact that he's now going to miss the next 2 to 3 games at least, it sucks. And I mean, the shot of him woozy and the visor cut him, like all of it, very, very hard to watch. Yeah, that just sucks for Nurse, man. There's no other way to put it.
Yeah, pretty uncomfortable to see him in that kind of state.
Yeah.
And I think, too, like, there's no way to say it, right? Like, it was a bad hit by Ryan Reaves. I don't think his original intention was obviously to hit him directly in the head, but that was the outcome of it. You could kind of see Reaves knew immediately what he had done, and just brutal. And obviously 5-game suspension for Reaves. And yeah, just tough to see Nurse in that kind of state. But the good news was he did skate off on his own, which was thank goodness.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to go at Reaves in a second here. He's been given 5 games. Again, nobody can argue about that. It was and you can sit there like, oh, well, okay, he came in and Nurse has to keep his head up. No, player in a defenseless spot, guy with a track record of doing dirty things, hit him square in the head. If you're going to go try to lay a big hit, the onus is on you to not deliver it illegally. The onus is not on every player on the ice to always be skating around being like, boy, what if I get elbowed in the head here or shouldered in the head with a dirty hit? Like, there's no need for this, no place for this. What is just nauseating and causes my eyes to roll all the way into the back of my head is the people who are like, that's why the Oilers need a guy like Reaves. Or this whole idea that like, well, you need guys like Reaves so that dumb stuff doesn't happen on the ice, when the dummies like Ryan Reaves are the guys who do the dumb shit. If you get rid of the guys who cannot play hockey, have no skill, are not NHL quality forwards, and is only there for some weird idea that you need intimidation on your bench, if you get rid of those guys, the dumb shit will go away.
Yeah.
Or the players like a Darnell Nurse, for example, who will go stand up for his teammates, but also doesn't run around doing dumb shit. It goes away. Ryan Reaves, I'm going to read you. He's played in 16 games this year. I'm going to give you how many minutes he's played in every game. 7, 7, 9, 8, 8, 9, 7, 5, 6, 6, 8, 8. One game where he randomly played 12, 9, 6, and then 354 against the Oilers. He has played north of 10 minutes once this season. He has not had more than 1 shot on goal in a game yet this season. He's only been a plus player 3 times this season. He has 1 point in 16 games this season. He is a nice guy. Our friends at Leafs Morning Take are close with him. He is, again, after that, he didn't try to fight anyone. He tapped his chest, said that's on me, and skated off the ice, went down the tunnel, apologized to Darnell Nurse. Yeah. Again, he is known around the league as being a very, very good guy. He doesn't need, and these types of players do not need to be in the league anymore. There's no spot for it. There will always be fighting. The numbers have dropped off because there's less guys like Ryan Reaves in the sport, but hockey does not benefit from having staged fighting. We learned that lesson, right? Over the last 10 to 12 years, it has dwindled away, and there are no more days of 2 guys randomly in the second period looking at each other and say, we're going. The fights that happen now are through natural occurrences in the game. They happen out of the pure emotion or having to stand up for a teammate or one of those things. That's the way it should be, and that'll never go away, and it probably shouldn't go away in the NHL because I like having it be a part of the sport. And in the way that we've seen staged fighting go in the last 10 to 12 years, that's the way we're going to see guys like Ryan Reaves go over the next 5 years. There's just no reason. He goes around, brings nothing of value to the Toronto Maple Leafs lineup. I love the joke a bunch of people made of like, if you really want to punish the Leafs, say you got to play him 20 minutes a night for the next 5 games. Like, there you go. There's no place for this kind of hit in the sport. And you feel for Darnell Nurse. There's no place for guys like Ryan Reaves and their skill level in the sport anymore, because this is the most impactful play he's going to make all season. He will do nothing else of note. He will serve his 5 games. He will come back, probably play another 30 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And if he scores more than 1 goal, I will be absolutely stunned.
Yeah, I agree. And I just don't know how people can go online, and a lot of these people are faceless people, and defend plays like this.
Because they're idiots.
That is the easiest way to describe it. It's so obvious. This is a terrible hit. The league is obviously seen that way too. Could they have more games? Sure. I think maybe he could have, but there's no room for this in the game anymore. It's horrible to see players in that situation. And for the people saying like there needed to be a response by the Oilers, like, I think in those moments too, you've got to add the human element into it, being like, oh my God, like our friend is on the ice and bleeding right now. Like you gotta be in that situation. I don't think the others needed to respond in that. They needed to respond on the upcoming power play, which we'll get to. But just that there's no need for any more. But the worst part about it is people keep giving him these contracts. He makes $1.3 million for the Leafs for 2 more years, including this one. It's amazing. I just don't understand it, and I agree. Like players like that, they're just dying out, and it's so obvious now. Like Nurses and Kane, the guys like that, like those are the guys that are going to kind of keep the fighting around in the NHL. But you don't need Ryan Reaves in the league anymore.
No, there's no upside to having players like that in the sport. And again, he is a great guy. If he wants to go do media, he will be very good at it. He's well spoken. He's smart. But when he is on the ice in an NHL jersey, he's played 893 games, which is stunning.
Amazing.
He scored 63 goals.
Wow.
He scores 1 goal in his career. And I mean, hey, there were years where, again, it wasn't always like this, I guess you could say, with Ryan Reaves. He had an 8-goal season with the Golden Knights. He had 20 points, but like the league's past needing Ryan Reaves.
Yeah.
He's 37. I would get the sense he's going to get the message and learn that lesson in a little bit. And again, if we're talking about Ryan Reaves doing anything remotely positive this year, I will be stunned. And I fully realize I am a man behind a screen on YouTube who, if I saw Ryan Reaves in person, would not say anything. But I'm breaking down the game, and there's no reason for that stuff. So, again, if you're going to sit here and do Darnell has to keep his head up, blah, 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 pay attention to the sport, man. Like,
I just don't know what Nurse is supposed to do. And you see that play every single game. If you watch defensemen behind the net, I guarantee every single defenseman at some point in the game comes around from behind the net and doesn't look up immediately because hits like that don't happen often enough that you need to keep your head up.
And if he doesn't have his head up and he gets blown up right in the chest first, picks himself up off the ice and gets back to it.
Yeah, totally.